Hey everybody! I wanted to make this video to talk about growing plants in container pots in Los Angeles. Kind of specific, but I've been on a journey of, I have a rooftop deck and I've been planting plants in pots like this, you guys. I don't have space where I can put plants in the dirt, all of that, so I use container pots. And I wanted in this video to go over what I'm growing and really to make it easier for you guys to think about what you can grow, especially if you're living in Los Angeles. When I started growing things in container pots in Los Angeles, I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna work? I have no idea. I felt like I started on this journey and I did not know what was gonna grow or not grow. Now I think I've been having this garden for over 5 years and I've got some opinions on what I think grows well in Los Angeles and specifically in container pots. So if you live in Los Angeles or you're gonna move to Los Angeles or something like that and you wanna grow plants and you don't have a bunch of dirt, you wanna use pots, then go ahead and continue to watch this video because I'm gonna break it down. I've got a whole bunch of different plants, not just the ones around me right now, that I'm gonna break down what grows, what doesn't grow well in Los Angeles. So let's get going. So you might see this plant that I've got right here that I put up. Now this is a very interesting plant. It is called a butterfly snap pea. Now, this stem right here is going to produce a blue flower that's edible and produces a beautiful blue dye. This is an organic plant. Most of my plants are organic, but not all of them. In fact, my lavender's not organic. This is butterfly bush. I don't believe it's organic. Okay, but this is my organic butterfly snap pea. I actually got the seeds for this plant from India, which is really interesting because this plant, I think, is native to India. It comes from India. The seeds came from India. I'm not actually sure if it's native to India, but I'm definitely assuming that it grows in India. So I know India's probably a pretty hot climate. So I thought maybe it'll grow well in LA. Well, I've been actually growing butterfly snap peas for over a year. This plant that I have right here is over a year old. In fact, it's probably almost like 12 or 13 months old. And I also have grown some new butterfly snap peas. Let me tell you about growing it in Los Angeles. Butterfly snap pea hates the cold, hates it. Now I had multiple people in my life say to me, throw away those plants. Those plants are doing horrible. And I swear to you, during the cold weather, it looked terrible. It looked like, oh my gosh, I should throw away this plant. But I don't throw away plants, I stick in there. And I'm glad I did on this one. In zones 10 and higher, I believe, which is zones 10 and higher is definitely a warm climate. In those temperatures, the plant will last forever. It'll keep growing every year, you know, it'll keep going. Now, if it's in a zone 10 or lower, it'll only grow in the spring and summer and it will die in the winter time. So being in Los Angeles, we're actually in zone 10. So it's like, oh wow, we're right on the cusp of, is this plant gonna live through the winter or not? Well, I'll tell you, it did live through the winter. It had a really tough time during the winter and people came over and saw this plant and said, throw it away, it looks horrible. But I am here to tell you that in Los Angeles, I can tell you now from experience, the plant will suffer in the winter, but when it gets hot and it's the summertime again, look, it ain't dead. It's doing great. And by the way, this plant has never flowered before. Like I told you, this plant right here I've had for about 12 or 13 months. It has never produced a flower, but look, you guys, it's about to produce a flower. It's incredible. Like, it's never done this whole thing before. It's so incredible. Let's keep moving on, guys. So I want to show you another plant. My lavender. So you guys, this is a beautiful lavender plant. This is a beautiful lavender plant. Okay. I've had this plant for about over 3 years. And this plant, I grew it from seed. I grew this lavender right here from seed. It took, I think, 2.5 years to blossom. Okay, and I've heard this with lavender, that apparently a lot of lavender takes 2 to 5 years to actually produce flower. So I'm telling you, with a lot of plants growing in container pots in Los Angeles, you've got to have patience. You can't throw it away, okay? But what I do with this lavender is I actually pick it and I use it for sugar. So I'm actually just going to show you guys right now what I do. I go ahead and I find a lavender, some of the lavender flowers that have bloomed. Like, this is a pretty good one, where most of the lavender has bloomed, and I'm gonna tear it off right here. Actually, I can show you. Look, you see right there. I teared it off. Okay, and then what you do is I tie this from a piece of twine, and I let it hang. And then when it dries, you add it into the sugar, just the purple part. I just take off the purple part, I'll pull it off after it's dried, and then you mix it in with sugar. Okay, I also have another lavender plant. Oh, and by the way, lavender grows great in Los Angeles. When I actually started growing lavender in Los Angeles, I said to myself, like, is this gonna grow? I was Googling it. Will lavender grow in Los Angeles? The answer is yes. So if you're thinking about growing lavender in Los Angeles, it'll succeed if you have patience. A lot of the times lavender, it takes 2 to 5 years to flower. So you can't give up on the plant. You can't throw it away and say it's not working, okay? So this is another lavender plant, and as you can see, it's actually a totally different type of lavender plant. So see, this is one type of lavender, and this is another type of lavender. I'm not actually sure if it's culinary. This lavender I grew from seed. I'm sure that it's culinary. Culinary means, meant to be eaten. So I put this lavender in sugar because it's culinary, it's meant to be eaten. This lavender, I'm not sure what type of lavender it is. So I don't eat it because I'm just not sure. So I don't want to mix it in my sugar and then come to find that, it's not something that is edible, because not all lavender is edible. So if you want to use lavender for culinary purposes for cooking, make sure that you have culinary lavender. Otherwise, this lavender, I actually just use it for decoration. Moving on, right behind me, this is called butterfly bush. I have to say, in the whole world, I think my favorite smell is the smell of the butterfly bush. And as you can see, maybe you can see right now, it's actually died off a bit, and so this is almost like, it's almost like it got heated up and it like burnt or something. I don't know. But butterfly bush definitely goes through a progression. So what you want is these purple flowers, but it seems like they die off and then they, So I've had this butterfly bush in a state where it looked better, where it was much more purpley, but just over time, these, a lot of these plants goes in cycles. So right now it's like kind of partly dead, but you got some of the live purple right here. I think butterfly bush grows great in Los Angeles. I suggest it. Now these are carrots. First of all, carrots grow great in Los Angeles. For me in particular, I tried eating one of these carrots and I didn't like how it tasted. So then I decided that I was gonna let this plant go to flower. With letting a plant go to flower, what that means is that you let the stem turn into a flower. And there's a bunch of plants like this. For instance, artichokes. If you don't pick the artichoke and eat the food of the artichoke, and you let it go to flower, with artichokes, it'll become this really gorgeous purple flower. Now, apparently, it's the same with carrots. Now, as you can see, I don't have any flowering yet, but I was told by somebody that if I just keep, I don't pick the carrots and I just keep watering them and keep taking care of them, that eventually these leaves up here will turn into flowers. Once I decide that I am interested in a plant and I want to do something, I don't give up. I am waiting for these carrots to flower and I am committed to these carrots flowering. Now, have they flowered yet? No, but I hope they do. Okay. Now, these are strawberries. Strawberries grow great in Los Angeles. I don't even know how much I have to say about strawberries. In the summer or the spring is when strawberries come into season. I have actually as well had strawberries in the winter that, produce these strawberries. So strawberries grow great in Los Angeles. They grow phenomenally. Now I'm going to show you cucumbers that I've been growing in Los Angeles. Look at this. It's been growing really well in Los Angeles. I just started growing this cucumber plant 2 months ago, and wow, it has taken off. It has a life of its own. Check this out. This is actually the end of the cucumber. One of the cucumbers I have up on a trellis. I think cucumbers definitely really like a trellis, but what I actually did is I have one of the cucumbers growing on a trellis, and then I have another cucumber seed that I actually just let grow on the floor. I hope that's okay. This is a squash blossom. They come on cantaloupe as well as cucumbers and maybe some other plants. You can actually eat squash blossoms. These yellow flowers. Isn't that interesting? Now, this is a rose plant. My rose plant is always blooming. So this is kind of sad that I have to show it to you when it's not blooming. Oh, it's heavy. Give me a second. So you saw that, hopefully. I don't want to pick it up again. My roses aren't in bloom. Roses grow really great in Los Angeles though, and actually I feel like it's kind of rare that I don't have a rose in bloom. So roses are a great thing to grow in Los Angeles. They grow great. I'm not an expert. This is my real experience in Los Angeles growing things in container pots. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. My name is Sarah. My channel on YouTube here is called Fashion and Fortunes.